Hey everybody, this is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, on point reviews all day every day. To my old subscribers, welcome back yet again. It's another crazy comparison video today, and if you are new, this is the first time you've heard of the channel or you've seen this thumbnail, make sure you guys like and subscribe because a lot of these clone comparisons are 100% no BS, guys. And I mean, if it is pretty good, it's definitely gonna save you money. Now today we are going to talk about one of my favorite creeds, guys, and I want to thank a couple of people here. Number one, I do want to thank my friend Daniel for sending me the dual clones of these creeds. Thank you so much, bro, and thank you for being patient with me. He does reside here in LA as well, and so hopefully one day I get to buy him a pastrami or something. Okay, I heard he likes the pastrami like me. Also, I want to thank Tenzin of Frag Overall for sending me this amazing juice that actually got me started with Bois du Portugal. He did send me a very old vintage Bois du Portugal by Creed. And so yeah, today we are going to compare them. We are going to compare the Bois du Portugal vintage version, and we are going to talk about Dua's Royal Portugal. Okay, so this one is the Dua clone. This is the vintage version with the old bottle design. So we will be talking about these two today. What are the similarities and differences? Is it worth it to just buy the Creed? And what are my thoughts overall about Bois du Portugal? So hang on tight, let's hit the music. Okay, we're back, guys. Bois du Portugal versus Royal Portugal. So let's go spray this right now. Yeah. So here's the thing, guys, okay? Let me just jump the gun by saying that this vintage one in that old bottle, not the green bottle, okay, I really felt was so different. And I was about to, I really contacted Tenzin this evening to even really talk about this and verify this and all that, okay? And I did find out that this one right here, the Royal Portugal, is actually a clone of the 2011 and up batches of Bois du Portugal. All right, 2011 and up, which is still pretty old. I mean, you could still consider that somewhat vintage, right? But this one is way older than that, okay? Now, just talking about this, if it is an exact clone, okay, of the 2011, and I don't know about that, but I will say this, that this one is bergamot heavy, okay? On the opening is bergamot heavy. That's what I noticed. So for those that own Bois du Portugal, maybe 2011 and up, maybe you can verify through the comments, but it's definitely bergamot heavy, and then it becomes green spicy. Okay, so that's the progression I get with this Dua clone right here. Bergamot heavy and green spicy. Okay, and after that stage, that's where the woody notes start to come out, such as the sandalwood as well as the cedar wood. And then there's like this, this dry down that is absolutely lovely when it comes to Bois de Portugal, and it's that combination of the woody notes with vetiver as well as ambergris, okay? And then, you know, pretty much once the vetiver comes in here with the Royal Portugal, it also does this nice easing off of this, like sort of like this low-key lovely dry down of, like I said, that vetiver, ambergris, and the woody notes. So that's really the development of this clone right here. It's definitely, for me, a man grabber, definitely a man scent that I think is for, you can say, more mature guys, or just more, I don't know, solid looking guys. I just can't imagine this on like a weak looking guy. I would say like a solid looking guy, and definitely a little bit more mature. I would say this is an easy grabber. Day mostly, in my opinion. I don't think this has a nighttime vibe. It's mostly a daytime, out there, loving life, smelling absolutely masculine. I think that's Bois de Portugal to me. And it does remind me of Portugal in many ways. I have been to Portugal. I've been to Lisbon, and yeah, I would wear this in Lisbon. You know, we spent most of our time there really walking outdoors, anyways, and this is really nice. This is something really spicy, green, and woody that I think it's really nice, and the touch of ambergris as well. Like I said, it does. It has the stamp of that Creed scent with a touch of ambergris near the end. So, yeah, very very likable man scent, guys. Now the thing I wanted to introduce here was this vintage one, okay? And for those that are wondering about the vintage one, like older than 2011, I'm talking about they're in the same bottles as like the Green Valley or Bois de Sidrat or Acer Aluminum. This one right here, I gotta say, and this is the one that got me hooked. This is the one I like better, okay? And primarily because this one has a stronger floral note of lavender. Okay, this one has a stronger, the lavender, yes, is spicy. Here it's like green and spicy in the clone, or you can even say 2011 and up. But with this, the older version, the older vintage version, guys, the lavender is much more pronounced versus the bergamot. Okay, the bergamot here, pretty weak. Lavender comes out in full bloom, still spicy, but then it's just more floral. Okay, and also the other singular notes on the vintage one pop out versus on the duoclone, which is basically they're all sort of in unison, especially heading to the dry down. Okay, in the vintage one, guys, it's not just the lavender that pops out, it's also the sandalwood and the vetiver. Okay, so a lot of people say that on the new Bois du Portugal they can't really smell vetiver. Well, here in this vintage one, guys, the vetiver is much pronounced, guys, as well as the sandalwood. It feels like it's a weird order, actually. When you smell this vintage one, it's almost like it's sandalwood first. The sandalwood or the woody notes come first, and then the lavender is right in the middle, which is really crazy, but nevertheless very strong. And then vetiver, still strong vetiver on the mid. And the similarity of both of these is basically the latter near dry down phase. I would say that it's almost exact. Okay, once all those notes, the pop-in notes here start subsiding, it starts smelling the same as this one, like the latter mid to dry down. When I told you guys everything becomes like this like really nice low-key dry down, and a lot of people really like that dry down, that's exactly when it happens, and that's the similarity of these. But if we're talking about opening or the notes being more pronounced, I would say this one's a little bit different. Okay, but I mean, in my opinion, guys, if you like this formula, this 2011 and up formula, and you really like it, guys, you like using it, I think I would never ever spend like $400 on the OG. You know what I mean? Like, for this formula is not, in my opinion, like really complex. And I think that at this point, 2020, there are other houses that can make things that can compete with this kind of stuff. I think for me, 2020, I'm gonna get the clone just because I will never pay $400 for, like, literally bergamot heavy to green spicy and then woody notes with vetiver. Like, there's no way. Okay, I like this. But I will not pay $400. So I would go for the clone if we're talking about that 2011 formula. But if this went against this, I would choose the vintage, really old formula, older than 2011 formula with the old bottle. This one is much, I mean, you can really smell the popping of the notes. It's a little bit different on this one. And if you are smart enough and you can find this, I believe there's nobody harping about this stuff, this vintage Bois du Portugal, you can get it for the low. And I apologize to Tenzin, because Tenzin is, I mean, he was on a hunt for these. He was like lowballing people, I believe, so he could get them. And he got a lot of those really vintage Bois de Portugal at a really great price. So I mean, if you can find that vintage one, please do grab it. is something else. It's way better, in my opinion, than the OG formula. But if we're looking at costing, if this would battle the $400 Bois du Portugal, no way. I'll get the clone. I'm fine. All right, so that's it. That is my quick comparison of these two, and hopefully I gave some education about the vintage one as well. Yeah, I mean, this is just, it's too simple to pay $400 for this, really, guys. I mean, as much as I love it, okay? So yeah, check out my other Dua comparisons, guys. I've done clone comparisons on a lot of the creeds, thanks to Daniel. Like I said, Daniel, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. I mean, I am very, very grateful for you sending me this stuff. I've got the other ones. I've got Royal Oud. I've got the Pure White Cologne, and I also have Green Irish Tweed. I'll link them all at the end, okay? And thanks again to Tenzin for giving me a sniff of this vintage stuff. All right, so until then, guys, this is Troy D. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow on another video. Peace.